Howdy y'all, got the Bulldog on the channel. What we got right here is a 2019 Ford Edge, and when you're going down the road it sits there and no codes. Way too rhythmic to be a ignition misfire. Took to one place, they said it was a high pressure fuel pump. Took it to another place, they said it was transmission. It is in the transmission. I think it's the torque converter. What we're going to do is disconnect the torque converter. Now there's no plug to unplug, but I have a way. So I'm going to take you under the hood and we'll show you what's going on. Okay, our wiring diagram is showing us it's pin 64, the white wire, at the powertrain control module, which on this one is actually conveniently located right here on the firewall. I believe it's this plug right here, but I'm not sure 100%. Unplug it, take a look at it. Okay, it's on this. It's going to be this fourth one from the end, this white wire right here. So now we've got to pop out this keeper and get this thing out. Come on. Up. Click. Oh, I can't get it down now. This thing just does not want to pop off. I'm destroying something. There we go. Now, all right. There we go.
Got it?
I believe so. Yep, there we go. Put it all back together. I'll have to put that part back on. All right. Now, because I've unhooked that wire, it's immediately throwing a wrench light. Okay, cruising speed. Does not look like we're bouncing the needle around anymore on the tack. Seems to be pretty smooth. It was just bouncing it up 200-300 RPM, boing, boing, boing. Pushing into a pretty strong headwind anyway. I'm going to take it up the highway and we'll see if it's any different at all. So far, so good. It was violently bouncing before. It used to do it while accelerating also. That's what had me concerned, was that it was doing it at much slower speeds. Usually, it doesn't do it till it gets up to cruising speed. Needle's just barely wiggling. Alright, I'm approaching malfunction junction, so I'm gonna pop off of here for a minute. Okay. We're cruising back underneath malfunction junction now. That's actually demand, it's not the needle bouncing up and down. pushing into the wind a little bit. There's a little bit of a rise in the road. We're going underneath the overpasses and everything. And our RPM is staying pretty darn steady. I think I'm going to leave that wire out of the plug, let her have the car back until we can find out when we're going to get this part, because when we called last week to check on it, it was on back order. Imagine that. So we'll see how long it takes us to get it. That way, you know, it's not going to be shuddering and trying to damage things. And like I say, one time it dropped clear out on me. So we'll just leave it to where it's not plugging itself in, and at least it'll feel more confident. Here's our information that we got off the data. This is where the torque converter turned itself on, and the pulse width of the torque converter solenoid. And there's the flares, the RPM flares, where it starts to slip a little bit. You know, slip, 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 slip. That'll cause the RPM on the engine just dum, 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 dum. Now I just stuck a piece of tape on this here to protect it, and we'll tuck it underneath the lock. This can sit here like this until we get the part in. It's back ordered. No idea when it's going to get here, but she can at least drive the car now, and we can be assured that that's what's going to fix it. I mean, it could be something as crazy as a programming error in the computer, but why would it start? Sorry about the wind. It is blowing blustery out here. I've got this piece right here. Goes in her glove box, and it'll stay there until we get it all fixed. But that's my diagnostic method. That's the best way to diagnose a torque converter shudder, is to unplug it from the computer, especially on something like this where the computer is right up out there in the open where it's really easy to get to. Everything came apart pretty good. This thing's only 4 years old, so it should have come apart easy. But when the computer's buried, there might be other ways to do it. The older ones, you could set your left foot on the brake and just drag the brake just a freckle, and that would tell you. These are different. You just can't hardly do that. Now, a little bit of research tells me that the torque converter locks up at much lower speeds on these things because it's an 8-speed transmission. They can afford to do that. So that will cause the shudder at lower speeds. I had absolutely no shudder at all. Now I've got to drive it home 40 miles, and that will tell me 100%. But we're going to check on parts, and hopefully you'll see me in the next month or so putting this thing in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification, share it all around. We'll talk to you later.